Let's talk about this year's Edinburgh show. So is this the first stand-up show you've done since? Yeah. I mean, you do, because you're doing so much acting work and you've just become a dad quite recently as well. So it's it's a few years. So 2019 was your last.
It was, yes.
So what's this year's show about? Which has got a very good title.
Thank you very much. It's called Whatever People Say I Am. That is what I am. It's quite a lot about Arctic Monkeys, specifically their first album. Whatever People Say I Am. That is what I'm not. Mainly because, I mean, do you have any feelings on Arctic Monkeys?
I did enjoy that first album. I'm not really into music. I got given it early because one of my friends was the publicist or something. I said they sent me the album through, and I thought I did enjoy it because I like sort of music with funny, good lyrics that's lyrically good. I think it's very, he's a bit of a poet, isn't he?
Exactly. I think he's an incredible songwriter. But for me, the Arctic Monkeys, they sort of slightly lost me with their sort of new creative direction.
Yes.
And I kind of talk about how there's a potential sort of parallel to my career, and that I've, been quite a fundamental part in quite a big sort of mainstream success. And as a result, I have a bit of a neurosis that when people come and see me, they find my more authentic creative direction severely underwhelming. And it's just, I'm also just trying to sell tickets to Arctic Monkeys fans, really, because there's a lot of them. But yeah, it's kind of, an identity show. And
well, that's it. But it is, I think just that title is interesting because, obviously most people feel what people say about them when it's unpleasant isn't true. Whereas you sort of seem to be saying, if you say something. I mean, I've heard a lot of things about myself that aren't true, right? So it makes me kind of suspicious of what people say about things, and you hear other stories. You hear stories about Jimmy Savile, and I reckon he was probably a nice guy, probably a good guy. Like a few of them, and maybe not. But there's things you could say about me. Every single rumour I've heard about myself isn't true. So the famous one I used to do in As It Occurs to Me was that I would ask women to come back to my hotel room, which did sometimes happen. That bit's true. And I would then sit in a high-backed armchair and masturbate while they danced. And there's literally I can't even begin to think where the truth in that was.
Is that where Louis got the idea?
Then I started doing it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
a little bit like that. There's sort of like, I am quite sensitive to criticism, and I have had a sort of trait in the past whereby if someone says something that isn't true about me, I'm kind of desperate to sort of correct them and try and control control the ways it is in which people perceive you. But that's just a very unhealthy way to exist. So the show is just a series of routines about ways in which I've been categorized and my sort of various responses to that. Of course, there's 15 minutes about how everyone calls me Mark Hunt from Scar Tissue, which is just like, let me live, be something else. But I suppose that's the kind of intellectual sort of neuroticism underpinning it. But I make some funny faces as well.
Yeah. And is it? Do you feel like, having been in this big successful sitcom, Friday Night Dinner, I'm presuming we're talking about rather than the Dad's Army recreation that I think we may have talked about last time you were on. But do you feel that is that a burden, or is it? I mean, because obviously it means you're getting all these other jobs.
I think
as well.
It's ridiculous to call it a burden, but it is also what is in the audience's mind when they come and see you. So I think I previously was trying to do gigs and just kind of ignore it, and they'd all be sat there being like, "Doesn't he know he's in Friday Night Dinner? Like, when's he going to say shalom?" So see, look at that. I love it, you eat it up. So now I go on and I sort of, the show is kind of about that, and I talk about like Ardlo Handel and Daniel Radcliffe and all these people who've also, they're sort of like, they've just kind of been frozen in the public consciousness as something. Then like what happens next? And this is my show. This is my attempt at a show to try and sort of free myself from that, but also allow people to enjoy the fact that I am, Johnny Goodman, basically. Everyone can shout all the catchphrases they want at the start. At the start.
Well, I think that is a very interesting thing in showbiz, and like people I've interviewed, some people who really embrace the past, and some people who want to leave the past entirely behind. And I think the people who embrace it are the best people, right? The people who, and that's not to say the ones who just, it's not Don Estelle going around Woolworths in his pith helmet trying to sell CDs. I'm not talking about that, which is amazing. Sorry, maybe the reference is too old for most people in the audience. But the one I always talk about is Michael Palin came on the podcast, and I talked about Life of Brian, and he started doing bits of it, and was really pleased that people liked it still. Whereas you imagine maybe some of the less cheerful members of Monty Python might be annoyed if you started going, do that bit from something. And I didn't even do, but he was actually literally doing it. But he seemed so happy about it. And I know there are things where people have like literally maybe some like Moon on a Stick. They've got one thing, and people don't even remember it. If people who come to his podcast don't remember him even saying it. Thank God. Although I was at Centre Parks this year, and I like it's like 30 odd years since we did Fist of Fun, and like a bloke behind me in Starbucks went Moon on his Dick. Fantastic. So it does still
huge at Centre Parks.
Still haunt you. It's worse to be haunted just once or twice a year by something, so you never know when it's coming. At least every time you step out, someone's going to shout something at you. But yeah, it's it's a difficult tightrope to walk, and some people do become literally that character. We've been watching Malcolm in the Middle. Which is fantastic, but Bryan Cranston's managed to completely leave it behind. The mother in it, who's brilliant in it, you kind of get. Well, I haven't seen her in much else because she's so associated with that role, and I don't know the actor's name either, so that's embarrassing.
Frankie Muniz, right?
No, the mother. So Frankie Muniz is Malcolm, but the woman who plays Lois is absolutely fantastic. As is Bryan. It's a brilliant sitcom actually. We've been watching with the kids.
Sorry, I mean, just when that's why I sort of got that wrong. I was reminded I was doing work in progress of this show last year, and someone overheard someone else in the toilet going, like they just seen my show, and they said, "Do you know he doesn't remember being in Malcolm in the Middle?" Because apparently Frankie Muniz has a memory thing.
Oh yes,
which means he can't remember, and they thought I was Frankie Muniz. So coming out saying, everyone knows I'm in front. No, some people think I'm an American. So it was a weird flashback.
That's impressive. Well, I get mistaken for lots of people. As I said, I got mistaken for someone stopped me in the street yesterday. I mentioned this in yesterday's podcast, and said, "Hey, what are you doing up here?" So I'm doing a show. He said, it's great to see you. You're the chef, right? And I went, no, I'm a comedian. And then he got slightly angry. He was a slightly scary Scottish man, I have to say. He had me by the hand, and I went, no, I'm not. And he went, well, so I'm a comedian. He said, yeah, you're great, and then went on his way. Yeah. But it's sort of weird to be recognised. I think people think I'm James Martin. I think sometimes.
I have a memory of. Did you have a routine about someone insisting you were Richard Herring?
I mean, I have had a few. I think there was one when I was in London. Someone insisted I was Stuart Lee. I don't know if that's the one.
I just remember you doing a bit about someone going like, "No, you are."
I've done so many
and it really impacted me, and it inspired me to be a comedian, actually. And it's a real shame to see
me forget my own. I forget everything now. Write everything down and in a blog, and then you won't forget it. So I can read my blog, and it's like reading a novel by someone else about someone else's life. So look, we should say, tell us when the show is on at. I haven't written it down.
Assembly Roxy upstairs, 6:15. If anyone wants to come and see it.
Good time, and
you've already seen the best. But I've said Shalom, man. There's no point. There's nothing else.
And for the people at home, because actually this isn't going out during the Edinburgh Fringe, you're on tour with it as well, right?
Yes, I'm going to the Soho Theatre in October and sort of around various countries in January. I mean, when I say various countries, I'm going to England, Scotland, and Ireland.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just, 3.
The EU, going
Wales,
to the EU?
I suppose, as well. That's,
Wales is a country, yeah.
I'm going there as well. That's 4, isn't it? 4 whole countries.
No one's coming from Wales now. You've said that. Now you forgot Wales was a country. Isn't it more
Wales.
of a principality? So that's do check it out. It looks very. I saw a clip. Funny, the clip came up on Instagram today of you. I don't know if it's just because I've mentioned you on Instagram, but it was of you talking about people calling you a nepo baby because, of course, your dad is a sports commentator.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't know how that really translates into being a comedian actor and how much help he could give you, but your sort of take on that was quite interesting, I thought.
Oh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Am I expected to just sort of
no,
say
well, I mean,
it now?
I can say it if you like.
Please, you say it.
Well,
because I gave such a good account of your routine, which you don't remember.
Well, it's weird that people. I mean, it's a weird thing about being known. I think, or an actor or a celebrity of any kind is the sort of the rules of everything else don't apply because you say so. No one goes to butchers. That his son got the job because of his dad, and every butcher is someone's son basically. You do the same thing as your dad. And it doesn't apply. No one goes, oh, King Charles. Nepo baby.
Yeah. And maybe they should. Jesus Christ is an absolute Nepo baby. No one picks them on that, do they?
All of the aristocracy. I mean, everyone who runs... the people who get away with everything...
Someone has the temerity to do stand-up comedy when their dad was a sports presenter. It's like, oh, he's given you this job. How? How is Jim Rosenthal cast for Friday Night Dinner? How? But it's fine. No, I've had a very fortunate life.
I mean, it's not, there is privilege and there's... I think it's helpful if you can see, if you see that your great granddad was translating Nietzsche, you think I could do that as well. Maybe at some point.
A bit less impressive now. I can have a go. Translate it back.
Translate to a different language from English. It could be fun, like when when you translate things on Google and then translate it back again.
Yeah, you can translate it into Windings or something like that. Translate it into heart.